This was our second demo for the Office 2016 migration. What's new, what's exciting. For those people that are watching the live stream, since you can't ask questions here, if you have a question, email it to myself, craig.baldwin@oregon.gov. I've got my laptop here, and if you ask a question, we'll bring it up in here and go through the mic so you can hear it and the answer to the question. Don't forget to sign the sign-in sheet if you didn't on your way in, and there's a handout there. And I think that's it. So without further ado, go Shirley.
And if you have questions, just be sure to let Craig repeat them so that other folks can hear. Yes, Jay. This is CSD presenting. Where are the cookies? Was the question. All right, so we are going to be going to two things this afternoon. We're going to be going to what to expect with the migration, and this is a little bit different migration than we've had in the past, and what's new and different about Office 2016. And so that'll be a demonstration part. And if you in the back can see the text in the demonstration is going to be very much smaller. So you're welcome to come up closer so you can see some of the things that we're going to show you. So I'm going to start out with talking about the migration itself. This is a different migration for an Office product than we've had in the past, in that there are no other infrastructure projects going on. So we're not changing the operating system. We're not changing, getting you a new Citrix profile. Everybody applause? Okay. So some of the settings that are stored in the Citrix profile for Office will be retained, like your custom dictionary. So if you save words to your custom dictionary, those are going to be kept. If you have quick access toolbar in your Office applications for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, the quick access toolbar is going to still be there. So there's some upsides to this. One of the effects, though, of this migration is that rather than spreading our migration out over weeks for division by division, or division and field office migrations, this is going to be an all at once over the weekend, this weekend, where everyone will come in to the office on Monday, or they'll work from home, and they'll be working in Office 2016. None of the other applications are changing, so all of our testing has been concentrating on the interoperability with our data applications, third-party applications in Office. So that's a difference. So you're asked on Friday afternoon, Friday evening at 6 p.m., be sure to be logged out of all of your Citrix applications and log out of Citrix. Does everybody know how to do that? Okay. Do you know there's like a down arrow on the Citrix page next to your name, and when you click on it, you can click on log off? That's a very helpful step in logging out after you've closed all of your Citrix applications. So you'll want to do that. And then a lot of work will be done over the weekend by IT and our folks, and then on Monday morning, when you come in, 7 a.m. Monday morning, you'll be able to log in to Citrix, and you'll have Office 2016 applications, with a caveat. Yes, the icon names will change, because if you use Word 2010, your icon is named 2010 Word, or Word 2010. Those icons, because they're not going to be on the servers anymore, are going to be going away. So if you have Excel, PowerPoint, other applications, you're going to actually copy or make those applications favorites from the apps folder in Citrix to get them back. So that's one of the things that's going to happen on Monday morning. And how many folks have been through a migration for Office at DCBS before? In all the instructions, what do we say to open first as your first application? Yes, open Word first. That's the answer. So you'll still be doing that, and there's a reason for that. When you open Word first and you make a change to, say, your name comes in backwards. It comes in Graham Shirley A. Some of our templates around the department, some of our applications that we use the name and initial in that Word location, Word options location. And so you need to get that back to the way that you would sign your name in a letter. So I might sign my name in a letter as Shirley A. Graham. So I'm going to need to follow the instructions that'll be on your desktop when you come in on Monday and make that change. When you use the initials, when you change the initials, that's going to make the initials correct for when you use things like review changes in Word, or if you use OneNote and it identifies who has made a change to the OneNote page. So those are just basic things that you're going to need to do. But other than, what do we do next after we open Word and make those changes, usually in a migration? Close Word. Okay, we close Word so that the Citrix profile gets changed, it gets saved, and in this case, it also triggers another cool thing that's being included in the migration, and that is getting back your recent files, so your recent documents in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So when you close Word and you wait 30 seconds to a minute, make sure that Citrix is closed. When you launch back in, when you open Word the next time, when you click on File, Open, you're going to actually be able to see your recents. So if you're not interested in that, you don't have to, close Word. But if you want your recents back so you can find the document that you worked on Friday afternoon before 6 o'clock, you can do that. Sound like a deal? So far, it sounds pretty normal, right? Okay, so a couple of things that are going to happen over the weekend is that because we're doing an all-at-once migration and because the file format changed slightly for templates, the ITR folks are going to be running a script that's going to upgrade our templates to the 2016 format for only our highly automated templates. But because that is happening over the weekend, because we're going to a new format, and on Friday we're doing it this way, on Monday we're doing it that way, you're actually going to have a new file location for our workgroup templates. For years, our workgroup templates have been stored and set to open from the O Drive, Share Apps, MS Office templates. And now it's going to be called O Share Apps, MS Office Templates 2016. This is not something that you have to know, for daily work, because your div techs know this file location. It's automatically set up for you in the Office setup area. But something else that's going to change is where your normal template, your blank template comes from, where some of you may have saved a stray template that you've worked on, and that's in your U drive. My Templates is going to change to My Templates 2016. This is going to be something that you don't have to access, all the time. It's background information. It's information, again, that your div tech knows, the service desk knows, and So they'll help you if you need to reset, some of your settings. This is all documented in this document. If you didn't pick up a copy of it, go ahead and grab one. We're going to be going through this for the demonstration part. And if you take a look at the features area on the DCBS internal homepage, shortly, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, there will be let's see if I can get to that. I want to open up the 2016 version of it. In the features location, there will be a line here that references resources that you can look at. The video that was recorded yesterday of this demonstration, you can spread the word in your divisions. The email will come out for the location of the overview. If you feel like it will be useful to folks in your division, you can refer to that. So just kind of keep an eye on that area, and there'll be other resources. There'll be this handout, for the rest of the department. There'll be what to do on Monday morning, for migration day in that area, and an explanation of the project. So that's where you can pick up information, when it's posted there. One of the things that will change also is the icon look. Actually, I'm going to go over that just a little bit later, but
one thing to add about the weekend is that if you've got OWA, you'll still be able to get to your email over the weekend.
So how many folks know what Outlook Web Access is and have access to it? Some folks who work from home or need to check email over the weekend have access to it. And one way that you can tell if you have access is to go to the, when you get back to your desk, in an Internet Explorer session, you can type mail.oregon.gov and return, and that address is right here in the handout. And when you launch Outlook Web Access, the way to test it, if you have it, is to type in your email address. Shirley.a.graham@oregon.gov is mine, and put in your regular password that you log in to your Windows machine. And if you have access, then the web version of Outlook will show up. How many folks have laptops? Surface? Okay, those devices also have Office applications on them. And the laptops are going to go through a little bit of a different process for updating to Office 2016 also. They don't have to be rebuilt as laptops. So there'll be an automated install that your DivTech will arrange with you to update your laptop or your Surface to Office 2016. As of next week, any new laptops that get built will be built with Office 2016. And your divisions are going to have until the end of the year to complete those upgrades, and the automatic install will be available to them pretty shortly. Okay. Another thing that we're migrating are access databases. We're only migrating published access databases that are published in Citrix. So if you, for your daily work, have an access database that you launch in Citrix, on Monday, you're still going to launch the Access 2010 version of it, unless your division has only a couple of databases and they get them published over the weekend. So for BCD folks, there are maybe a dozen access databases, and they will be upgrading them and then getting them published in the Access 2016 version in the next week or so. So that will be completed shortly. So on Monday morning, those of you with published Access databases will launch the Access 2010 version. Okay? Any questions about the migration itself? Yes, Mark?
What happens if we don't log off on Friday?
Oh. Okay. Mark has asked, what happens if you don't log off on Friday? You will be logged off by us. So whatever applications you have open will be abruptly closed. So it is very good for the health of your Citrix profile to log off, to close all of your applications and log off of Citrix. We'll be able to monitor that. We'll be monitoring it starting probably about 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
So
Yes, Craig?
So for those inspectors that think they're going to be coming back in the office, I would recommend on Thursday, if you are off on Friday or Friday, even if you leave the office, log out of Citrix. It'd be better for you to log out when you leave and log back in if you come back into the office, as opposed to thinking you're coming back and then not making it back and we have to kick you out. So that's just a recommendation for the people out in the field.
Yes, people out in the field. So that would include examiners, investigators, consultants, folks who work from home throughout the day, people who are teleworking, everyone who is logged into Citrix as they go about their day on Friday. Just go ahead and log out in case you don't get back to the office, you don't get back to the application, very quickly. Good question. Any other questions? Yes, Diane?
Just making sure that our iPads fall under the same thing as the laptop and the Surface. Do those get changed?
So the question is about iPads. Those aren't part of the scope of here. So iPads applications go through the Apple catalog. That's a different mechanism.
Well, if I could add to that, the iPads don't have Office installed on them. They only get access through Citrix.
Okay. So Mark's response also was iPads access Office 2016 through virtualcbs.net, and so they will not be upgraded. There's nothing to upgrade on the iPads. Okay, good question. Any others? Okay, we'll go on to what's new and different about Office 2016. Yes. So I'm going to minimize this. It's a short list. It's a much shorter list for what's gone than what's changed in Office 2016, besides the look. One of the things that is gone is some of us have become used to, when we click on File Recent, to see both recent documents and recent folders. And some of us even pin folders to this page because we go back to that directory frequently. The folders part of recents is gone. So not only will we not be able to see recent places we've visited, won't be able to pin them, it's only the recent documents that will be there. Not only that, but the place where you'll find them is changed. So we'll look at that when we go through what's changed. The clip organizer is gone. Does anybody use the clip art from Word or PowerPoint? Okay. It has changed. The clip art organizer is no longer there. So when you click on Insert, of course I have to have a document first. When you click on Insert Clip Art, there was an organizer that allowed you to search for clip art. by a tag name, and in some cases, different locations. And in some versions of Office, we were able to also include online content. It's worked some versions, it's not worked, some versions. So when we get to changes, I'll show you how you can get clip art. The clip art files are still there. The clip art files have been in Share Apps MS Office clip art for years, and the clip art files are still there. But there's no easy way to view them or search for them the way that there was with the clip organizer. So that is going away. If you have created charts in either Word or PowerPoint, you may have noticed that when you create a chart in Word, it opens up an Excel spreadsheet that you've put in the numbers for the different axes, and you manage it that way. It no longer opens up a full Excel spreadsheet. It is a representation of a spreadsheet in Office 2016. So if you're working with charts, they'll work a little bit differently. Another really cool feature that folks have used and asked questions about. Yes, there's a question?
So can you still import Excel spreadsheets in Word?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the question?
The question was, can you still import Excel spreadsheet? It's only in the creating a chart from within Word and Word only that has changed. The ODBC connections has been retained also. Thanks for that question. Another feature that folks used was when you create a new document, you have the option to go to My Templates to browse and look for templates in different folders. I happen to see all of them, all the division templates, but this is called the classic dialog for creating a new document. You also would be able to click on a folder to see recent templates. And so these are all the templates that I have recently used or are tested. Yeah, and I could create a document from that recent template from that folder. This folder is no longer there. All of the recent templates in Office 2016 are in a big, not a list, because they are large pictures the way they are in here. So we'll take a look at that in what's new or what's changed. But the other feature that is gone is the new from existing. So this is where, yes, I see a few grimaces. This is where you could take your finest document. You could use it as a boilerplate, click on File, New from Existing. You'd be able to open that document, but it actually created a new document, so you didn't have take the chance of copying over your perfect document. So that feature is gone. Haven't been able to find that, or why they took that away. And then if we don't do a whole lot of footnotes in the department, I think, but footnote continuation separator is gone, and there's a different way of dealing with footnotes in Office 2016. So that's the short list. Those of you who may have Office 2016 at home, have you seen any other features that are gone that we're not aware of? How many folks have Office 2016 at home? Okay, a handful of folks. We'll be discovering, I'm sure, for the next couple of months, favorite features that we have. So the next area that we're going to look at is what's changed in Office 2016. And one of the things that you point out is that the icons look different. The large word icon, for example, not only looks different for the published icon rather than the flat look of Office 2016, but it also looks different in CTX Explorer. You're aware that we still use .doc documents in some cases, right? and we use DOCX. We use DOC if we're sharing with clients or folks from outside the agency that may not have the updated version. So that DOC document in Windows Explorer, like on the picture on your document, will show the old icon, and the DOCX will show the new folder. And your division is going to decide whether you're going to create in the 2016 file format, or if you're going to stay with the 2010 file format that's still a .x, but it still will have compatibility mode at the top of your screen. So kind of depends on how much you share documents with other entities around the state. It's always something, right? Okay, in Word 2016, which is what I'm going to open next, the ribbon titles are flat. There's no longer kind of a definition in the ribbon look, and I don't have that word open, but it's still open down there? Okay. Well, it's also no longer DCBS Shield Green either. It's the colorful look here, but you can also see the difference that my quick access toolbar icons are mostly there unless they have changed or if the feature has been deprecated. So you can take a look at that on Monday morning. But in the look, when you click on File New in Word and you want to select a template, you first see all of the templates that you've launched before. So if you created a new document from one of the folders that you have access to, they show up in the recent file list. It's not a list, it's quite large area that's taken up. You can see that you can still pin templates, so rather than going into a folder where you have recent templates, they'll be up front. So you might decide that you want to clean up some of the templates there, or you may want to make sure that you, if you use 3 particular templates throughout the day and you use them over and over again, then you can certainly pin them here and get to them more quickly. Otherwise, what you do is wherever your paths are set in Office, you're going to drill down through the folders to find the template that you want to open. And you want to single click, because what I just did was I double clicked. And it will open whatever template is right underneath that folder. So when you're in here, you just single click through the folders to drill down to them. So that's a little different. Now, if you want to get directly to your classic template folder look, you can do that, because you can put on the quick access toolbar new document or template and get to the classic template dialog box. Or you can click on, I think there's a keyboard shortcut for that. When you click on the file new, you cannot search for online templates. It's grayed out. It's not something that we want to do. We don't know what would be infected, what kind of viruses might come from online templates. So that's a feature that's not available. When you click on File Open, this is where you see your recents. So rather than having a recent item in the left navigation pane there in the background page, you see recents on your Open dialog box or your Open menu item, and you might see other things. You see I have a pinned document here that I wanted to be able to get to very quickly, and then I have yesterday, this week, last week, and most of these templates or most of these documents are there because I've been testing Office for weeks, with this particular profile. You may have other things that you can click on, but they're not really used at DCBS. We don't have a SharePoint site. We're not opening files from the web, so we're not going to have web locations. This happens to be a document that was opened from our policies page. So when you open a file from Internet Explorer on the policies page, they may show up here, in this other web location. You might find that useful. You might find it distracting, also. When you click on this PC, this goes to what you home users might actually save your documents in. You might save your documents at home in Documents. You might save your pictures in Pictures. But at DCBS, when you save to this location, if you do, it saves to your Citrix profile. Has anybody had their Citrix profile replaced? It's become corrupt? Okay, so it could be that you lose anything that you've saved in that location. So that's not the go-to place to save your files. You save your files in the S drive, the T drive, for department work. So the two items that you're going to use on this page are the recents and the browse. So when you click on browse, you see this PC. I get to where I have set in my Word settings, the File Options Advanced and File Locations button, where we set those things. I've set it at TCSS Gray MSA. So that's where I normally save my documents. So that's where I want to naturally go to when I browse for my documents. And then I can double click on any of the folders and look for a document that I want to open. Okay. And if I want to use a keyboard shortcut, are there keyboard shortcut fans in here? Okay, Control O, gets to the browse dialog box, just like it did in other previous versions of Office. We have found that the keyboard shortcuts have not changed very much. I could not point out to you one that actually, has changed. Okay. Another thing that's changed on this dialog box is where you would select to send an attachment or to create a PDF file. Do you create PDF files from Word documents and then save them to another location? They might be uploaded into a data application. These are digital-born documents, and those features are still there, but they've moved. In the Office 2010 environment, there was a file save and send, and these features have been split up into two locations in the 2016 environment. So you don't have a save and send, but you do have a share, and they're moving more to sharing documents. That's the new language. And what you can not share with people, that's grayed out. You can't present online, that's grayed out. You can't post to a blog, that's grayed out. But you can click email, send as an attachment. You can send as an Adobe PDF. You'll get this icon if you have an Adobe Pro license. And there are a couple of hundred people in the department that have Adobe Pro licenses. So if you want to create your document directly, from Adobe PDF, you can. But the built-in PDF maker in Word, still works. It works very well. So you can click on Send as a PDF. When you do this is just like in the Office 2010 environment where you could create a PDF to send to somebody, but you don't necessarily need to save it as a file on your S or T drive. So that's the difference between the create a PDF and send a PDF. It simply converts the document into a PDF, leaves the Word version, and then also emails the PDF to whoever you need to send the PDF file to. So that's still there. And we are not, we don't have any uses for a send Adobe PDF for shared review. So this is something that came in to the backstage view here, and we have not found a way that this would be used. The other location is export. So here you have the still have the ability to create a PDF, and that's the Adobe PDF, but the create PDF from the Microsoft Office products is right here, create PDF XPS document. You can also change a file type from here. And we've typically done that from the Save dialog box, where you can click on files of type and change the file type, but they've added this change of file type to this dialog box also. So this is the location. Export is when you actually want to create a PDF and save it to a file location, so you can navigate to where you want to save that document. Any questions so far? Are you mourning the loss of create from existing document? The way what? Yeah, okay, we're mourning change in general, that's true. Okay. Now, when you click on File, Save As, then you see folders again. So instead of getting the classic dialog box to save a file, you get an option to save to a recently used folder, which is handy, for saving. It was also handy for, recent files, for opening files. But at least we have folders here that we can pin if you save to the same few folders over and over again. You can also click on the Browse button and you get to the classic dialog box for saving files. I know there's a book called Who Moved My Cheese? And that's what I feel like sometimes when we're looking through this, because you just have to find out where it is. Okay, in Word itself, in Insert, there is no longer clip art, insert clip art. There's still insert pictures, and that goes to the clip art location. And if you are a division that works with pictures like OSHA for investigative work, you may have changed that path to a location where you get your photos. But if you click on File Pictures, it's going to open in the clip art location. If you click on Insert Online Pictures, you're going to get an option to search Bing. I have not, okay, so I'm going to actually do something business-like rather than searching for happy, and I'm going to say network card. Oh, I misspelled it. Oh, network card. Here's a network card. Who would know there's a network card? Okay. So when I click on network card, I see a couple of things here. I see a lot of nice pictures of network cards, and Lori or Scott or somebody with tech savvy might be able to distinguish these. But up here in the top of the page above the pictures, there's a checkbox on Creative Commons only. Creative Commons is a license for pictures, for public domain pictures. So we're using this online picture search with the Creative Commons license that Bing has, that Bing offers. And this is just to let you know that when you go to the internet to search pictures, you need to make sure that they are okay to use, in your document. We are very conscious that pictures are copyrighted in a lot of areas. We have divisions who pay for pictures from different services, and this is something where you want to keep that filter on so you know that you are inserting a picture that's okay to be used because it's licensed, because we have Microsoft Office. So this is a new feature, and you can go through the pictures, and which one should I pick? The one with 2? Okay, so I click on the insert, and it inserts into my document like any of the clip art, would have entered. It's a whole lot more fun when you search for happy. They have a lot of good pictures for that. I think that we are, I skipped over one where the background themes changed. When you click on File and Options, in the General tab, you have the Office theme, and there's 3. The colors have changed for the background. There are 3 available now. Colorful, which is the blue in Word. It's orange in PowerPoint. So it's a colorful what? A colorful title bar, is colorful. There's also a dark gray and a white. And white is very stark. Gray is hard to read some of the menu items sometimes, but these are the only choices that we have in Office now.
And these are the same color options in Outlook too. Just
Yes.
So you know.
They are the
Yeah,
same
it's
color
the
for
same
options,
color
right?
options in Outlook. They didn't ask us first.
Did
So
not. Okay, so the one that I've been able to tolerate is the colorful. I can seem to read the words on the ribbon there. Another change is, they change the fonts that are available in applications all the time. So in 2007, version 2007, we were introduced to the Calibri font and the Cambria font. Those were Microsoft fonts. Calibri was a reading the screen font, and Cambria was a print font. And so they were used in the Office apps, and it almost forced us to be philosophical when Calibri font showed up in your Word documents, your default document, rather than what your division had chosen as their standard, Times Roman or Arial or whatever it was. And there are a couple of different places that we get fonts. We don't typically pay for fonts that we use in the Office. They come with software that's installed either from the operating system or from applications. And Office is a major application that we have in our Citrix servers, so everybody has the same fonts available on every server because we have a common software installed. So Calibri font is going away. It's not going to be, it may be installed on the Windows operating system right now, but it's not necessarily in the Office suite. So one of the changes we made was in OneNote, we defaulted, we've always defaulted the Excel font to Arial 11, I think it is, and the Outlook font for the body font, the default is Arial 11 also. So now OneNote is also defaulted to a new OneNote notebook will have Arial font in there. And then y'all can change them, however you want, but that's the starting point. So we have 14 fonts that we've tracked that are stable from Windows 3.1 all the way up to Windows Server 2016, and we tend to hope that people use the fonts that are available throughout the world, the clients that that we work with. So we kind of stick with some of the basic fonts. That's the reason for it. Yes. If you have a document, the question was asked if you have a document that's in Calibri, you might have a template that uses Calibri. You might have documents posted on the web that have Calibri, and that's usually embedded in the document. We also have it, it's available through the operating system, so it's not going to have any adverse effect on anything. But have you ever noticed that somebody from another office sends you a document and it's kind of wonky? It doesn't have the same spacing that the printed document has. If they used a font that you don't have access to, then it may display unusually. And it's because they there's an option where you can embed the font in the document. We don't usually do that, but if you get a document like that, it's because they don't have it. So if somebody had, a Mac and it didn't have Calibri font, your documents wouldn't look, the documents might not look the same. Yes, Craig?
And one other point is, if everybody remembers when we went to Office 2010, Calibri caused all sorts of problems with our printers. It's because the printers couldn't read the Calibri fonts. So you kind of want to be careful of using different fonts because
that
you may have
particular
a problem
problem
printing stuff.
showed up with not all characters printed. Are they printed? There were lots of characters missing, from the print until there was a mismatch. And that's one of the reasons is that there's a kind of a mix. There's an ability to use fonts from the printer. If the printer comes with certain fonts, a font set, then we generally have a choice to use fonts from the printer or use fonts, from your operating system and what's installed on your computer. There is, if you go into Word options in 2016, you'll actually see, do you want to read fonts from the printer? And that's turned off. We uncheck, that's unchecked. It's not consistent. We don't have the same printers in all divisions. We don't have the same printers within a division, that are all the same printers, so they don't have the same fonts. So there'd be a big mismatch of what's available, what's not available for fonts. Interesting question. So what are the safe fonts? Yeah, Arial, Times Roman, Verdana, Gothic. We can send you a list if you'd like one. Okay, what's new? Did I cover everything and what's changed? Okay. So I'm going to open up Excel 2016 and take a look at my taskbar. It's a little bit crowded, but you'll see there's the book one, and I'm going to open a file, and those are license files. I'm going to open another file, and here's the draft, the timeline, and look, without opening a separate instance of Excel from Citrix, I have on the Excel taskbar, yay, and the crowd roars, right? Okay, great. So I open another document from here, and let's see, Office 2016 MSPs, and it goes on and on. It's back. Yay, we have multiple instances of Excel workbooks on the taskbar. I'm sure it was my personal note to feedback to Excel, that to Microsoft, that got that back. Okay, This may not look the same when you get back to your desk if you have the taskbar stacking icons. So this shows up because I have my taskbar set to, okay, somebody can help me find that. Taskbar settings. I have combined taskbar buttons never. Sometimes you have, when taskbar is full, it will stack some of them. There's probably some other way to get to this. Ask your div tech, they'll know more than I do about this part, okay? That's the best way? Okay. That was confirmation from an actual div tech. That was a good way to do that. So other applications have been doing that for years. Word, has different items on the taskbar for multiple documents open. I believe that PowerPoint does also. So now we're into Excel, and they brought that feature back. Okay. Speaking of Excel, folks who use the add-ins VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and match, we're told that those features work faster now. So we'd love to hear feedback on that if you happen to use that feature, Jay. And if we also have some new chart types that are coming up: tree map, waterfall, Pareto, histogram, box and whisker, and sunburst. Makes you want to, try them out just because they have fun names. But there's some new chart types that are available. Another thing that's going to be available that I don't have access to now, but in the apps folder on Monday, there should be a couple of new icons. One is called Excel Compare. Yeah. Excel Compare is a functionality that you could only access from the tools bar. If you have Office installed on your desktop, at home, you might see that. But there are two new applications that are actually going to be published with icons. One is Excel Compare, and the other is Database Compare. So we don't have a whole lot of Access databases in the department, but there are a number of divisions who use Access databases to import data from Excel. They may crunch some numbers, make some queries there, and they may want to do some comparing there. So those icons will be published in the apps folder. So if you want to try them out, you can do that. Cautiously, there's bound to be instructions right there in the Excel Compare document when it comes up. But there's nobody here that can tell you exactly how it works. But it is available. I'm going to open Outlook. Outlook has a different look and feel. How many folks have Outlook online at home? Outlook.com, MSN, so you use Outlook. So this kind of is starting to look like a web application, but it's actually working like the desktop version of Outlook. When you launch Outlook, it may say that it's creating or discovering your account. Let that happen. And you may get a prompt to enter your email address and your password the way that you do when your Windows password changes. So just be aware that could happen. And go ahead and always use more choices and choose another user so that you can actually type in your full email address. For mine, shirley.a.graham@oregon.gov. So one of the things that you may find on Monday morning is when you launch Outlook, you may get the reading pane. And I'm set up in this compact list look. I don't filter by date or by group or anything like that. This is the way mine is. But mine did come up with reading pain, and I had to turn it off. So there have been how-to documents that show how to go to the View ribbon and select reading pain to turn it off. And that is a best practice at DCBS to avoid threats, viruses, that come through email, that sort of thing. So you can read about in one of the how do I documents also. So that might be one of the things that you need to change on Monday morning. But you're not going to need to go looking for your mailboxes. You're not going to need to go looking for your calendars, the way that we have in past migrations. So those should be retained. If they're not, you can contact your div tech. They'll track down what might be happening, and you can also call the service desk, and we'll take a look at it. But we're not expecting issues with that at this time. So a very usual thing that you do in your job is to create a new email, and sometimes you have to attach a file, right? And when you attach a file, you browse to the document, you remember where it was, and then you can attach the file.
Change it to HTML.
Say it again?
You have to change it to HTML.
Oh yeah, you might change it to HTML, right? If you're not set that way. But when you insert an attachment, there's a new little down arrow at the bottom of the attachment button. And when you click on that, what do you see? Recents. So the documents that I just opened, the Excel spreadsheets that I just opened are right there. It's not limited by file type. Also, a PDF that I just had opened, is there. So I can, let's see which one I have open here. And that's not this one. Yeah, that's the Kofax one. So when I click on that, it just inserts the attachment. So that's going to be a nice time saver for some folks who do attachments all the time. Yes?
On one of the older versions that they used to be able to detect attach in your document, and you forgot to attach your document, you would get an error message when you send it like part of the spell check. Does this do that?
So the question was, in previous versions of Outlook, there was a way to make a setting to remind you that if you had an attachment, okay, so if the word attach was in the email, then it would say, hey, did you need to attach the attachment? I believe that there is. I don't know that I could find it right this minute, but I have run across that. I have also seen the reminder, you can have it set so that you spell check your document before it's sent. And if I were to look at it in options, that's where I will start looking at it. You think I should put that, go up? Okay, that's always spell check before sending, so that's one option. But I believe that there was one for attachments also. So if I find that, should I put it in the document? All right, because that would be something that would be manually put in. Can you make a note of that, Craig? Thanks.
Will our signatures transfer over?
Yes.
The question was if the signatures are going to transfer over.
So on the message, signature, and both my signatures are there. Okay, so one of the things that has changed in PowerPoint is that for those who do PowerPoint presentations, grammar and writing suggestions are now available as an option, and it's been spell check for PowerPoint, but not necessarily grammar checking. We don't do a whole lot of equations, but I tried out the insert equation, and building codes may have a use for that in some of their documents, but it was awesome. I've worked for a engineering firm before, and that would have been it's a feature that you pay money, to add. One of the things that you can do in Office, and I know we're over time, you can read about it. You can open a PDF into Word and edit it. One of the things that you might look at, and what they say in the caveat is that it works best when it's mostly text. But I tried it on this particular document, and what I found was it was a pretty clean document, maybe not as clean as PDF Converter, but I haven't done extensive tests to compare those two applications. But what I did find was that in this area on page 3, the through feature, it was a little squished. And on another page, it became in little boxes, so it looked good, but when I tried to edit it, there were some issues. So as we're going through using Office 2016, we're going to be looking at, is PDF Converter needed any longer? It is an older application that doesn't have a new version. So as we go to different operating systems, we may find that we're not able to use that particular application. And there are over 100, I think, licenses for PDF Converter. And this may do what PDF Converter did before, but you'll have to try it out for yourself and let us know. Give us feedback when we're asking whether or not we need to continue using PDF Converter. One of the features that is in all of the Office apps is something called Tell Me. There's a little light bulb here, tell me what to do. And if I say grammar check, spelling and grammar, we finished checking your selection, so it actually did a spell check. There's nothing to check, but it actually finished it. So it's not just a help feature. It will help, but it also will get you to the location, like say, send attachment, mail recipient as attachment. And it actually, rather than telling me how to do it, it actually started doing it. So it followed through with completing the action, which, if you're looking around for features that you used to have, you want to know where they are, then this may help you out a lot. I'll end with 2 features. One is Translate on the go. And users that are divisions that send documents out, they need to send documents out in Spanish. You probably already have a process for making that translation. You might want to discuss within your division whether or not this would do for translating a paragraph on the go. Someone in your division would have to determine if that paragraph made sense, to go out, if it's grammatically correct, if it's clear, language, that sort of thing. But it is a feature that's available. The last one is, I saved to last because the clipboard is a funny thing. When it works great. And every once in a while, it doesn't. But in Word, when you do a lot of cutting and pasting and moving files around, a new feature that is available is the Word clipboard, which can hold 24 items in the clipboard. So it has a navigation pane that when you use it, you can select different items that are out of order and repaste, into another location. And I don't know that I have a document open that has text in it, but okay, this is the actual document. If you had copied text to a different location, and this is a copy of the document, by the way. It's not the real one. I'm going to copy and paste. Then when I look for the clipboard, and it's on the Home tab, it says click the little down arrow. Below that, yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I have the navigation pane, and it didn't take my first item, but if I clicked in here and did a paste, it pastes, you know, where I click on the navigation pane. So it didn't pick up my first copy and paste, but it did, you know, the second one. And let's see. No, I'm just gonna. It's only, you mean, would it work on a Mac? I believe that it's only Word. Yeah. So, I don't know if you have to save the document. It worked once for me. Experiment with it at home. Are there questions about the different features that you've seen? Did anybody get to test? Go through testing? Did anything come up in testing that concerned you, Carol?
No.
Carolyn? Okay. All right. So, do you have any questions about other features, or about what's going to happen Monday morning?
Come to work with a good attitude.
Come looking for adventure, right? Yes, question?
Excel spreadsheet or homework. You have currently have an Excel spreadsheet that you're working on information convert over.
The question was, if you have existing Excel spreadsheet, will it convert over? There won't be anything to convert. You just open that document in 2016. I will, and we'll have this in writing, I do suggest that if you use OneNote, that on Friday or Thursday before you leave, that you close your OneNote notebooks, perhaps, and then open up OneNote in 2016 on Monday, and then open your documents, let them refresh. Does anybody else have any experience with OneNote? How did your OneNote testing go? Okay, all right.
I used it my last agency and loved it. Absolutely loved it. And to add on to her answer regarding Excel, when you go to save it, it'll prompt to say it's going to save it in a new version. It's just a window that pops up and you can ignore it.
And what, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, Shelley? Shelley, okay. What Shelley was talking about is that when you're in a document that's not 2016, a 2016 document, and I'm going to try to bring one of those up. There would be a compatibility version at the top of the page, and you would get an option to, when you click on File, there'll be a Convert button here. And apparently I've...
Actually, you just go to save. And when you're done with the document, you push save.
Yes?
Or the save icon. The window pops up and says it will be converted to a newer version.
Yeah.
And I think there's even a box at the bottom you can uncheck that says, you know, this don't remind me again.
And
That happens both for Excel and Word.
And the discussion is about converting documents. If you're working on an Excel spreadsheet internally and it's not ever going to go out, you may want to go ahead and convert the document. When you see the compatibility mode up there, even if it's a docx or a XLSX file, when you click on File Save, there will be a button that says Convert. If you click on that to convert, you'll get another message that says that you're about to convert to the new file format. Are you sure you want to do it? You click on OK. There's also a checkbox there so that if you want all your documents to update, or you don't want to get that message anymore, you can click on the checkbox so that you don't get that message anymore. And that works for both Word and Excel and PowerPoint. There'll be a compatibility mode up at the top when you're in a slightly older version. And 2010 is considered a slightly older version. The discussion about OneNote is when you have 2010 OneNote files open, you create a cache file, that saves all your work. And we've just found that for the first time that you open OneNote 2016, there have been a few problems where it takes a long time to create that folder. So opening the documents up, the OneNote documents up one at a time might be useful. We've had other folks have said that they didn't have any problem with it. It doesn't automatically update the file. You need to save it to convert it as a 2016 OneNote. Otherwise, it's going to have the compatibility view up there. And we haven't wanted to do that during our testing phases because we didn't want to be out of sync with others because we share our notebooks quite often, especially in ITNR. So on Monday, everybody's going to be using 2016. We don't share OneNote notebooks outside the department, so it should be okay to update, into the 2016 version. And there's some good new features, with OneNote, and 2016 it works pretty well. Okay. We do have backups.
Do they use the same file extensions as before? .x and so forth?
Jay, you asked if the file extensions are the same. Yeah. They're the same extensions. So DOCX is the current extension. DOTX, XLSX is the current version. There's just a little bit difference in the XML file that is created underneath the document that still notes a 2010 XLSX in compatibility mode until it's saved, converted to 2016. Okay. Any other questions, comments, experiences? Use 2016, loved it, right? Okay. We'll see you Monday morning. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Thank you.